The full Barack Obama monkey video is a bizarre, animated parody of U.S. politics that feels more surreal than serious. The clip reimagines major political figures from both parties as Lion King-style jungle animals, turning Washington into a full-blown cartoon animal kingdom. In the video, Donald Trump is portrayed as a lion and crowned the king of the jungle, while other politicians appear as different animals meant to exaggerate their personalities, power, or public image. It's not a clear political argument so much as visual satire. The video leans hard into symbolism, pop culture, and mockery, using animation to comment on power, hierarchy, and rivalry in American politics rather than explain any specific position. That's why it sparked so much debate online. Some see it as parody, others as provocation.
They have Hakeem Jeffries as a meerkat, but everyone's only focusing on the whole Barack and his husband as apes. Ridiculous.
And some just find it unsettling. But one thing is clear, blending cartoon imagery with real political figures makes it instantly viral, controversial, and impossible to scroll past.
I can't believe, the same people who are literally ashamed of nothing are offended by everything. But you know what? I want to hear Tommy Sotomayor. I only know a little bit about the guy. I've only seen him in like clips here and there. I don't really know him. But he's apparently on TMZ talking about this. So let's take a listen.
Well, I generally don't ask questions this way, but I just have to because to me, it's so obvious. Explain to me how this is not racist.
Well, first off, I think it's racist just to assume that apparently black people own looking like monkeys. Apparently, we're just supposed to own it. So if someone says we look like a monkey or that they put us on a monkey body or like what they did with the advertisement where the black kid had a monkey outfit, uniform on, just like the white kids did, it's somehow racist. So blacks should view themselves as monkeys. And anytime someone calls us that or puts us on the head of a figure, that we're supposed to be immediately outraged that this person is doing this. And let me explain to you.
Tommy, I'm sorry, I can't just let that go without asking you something. Have you learned anything or studied history in this country around slavery and the depictions of black people in this country during slavery?
What the fuck does slavery have to do with an AI image of a former president and his husband as apes? I'll be honest, I don't see the correlation. These are the same people who are literally ashamed of nothing. They're not ashamed of abortion. They're not ashamed of genocide, murder. They're not ashamed of not having families, falling behind, not being able to read. They're not ashamed of nothing, but they're offended by anything somebody white says, does. If a white person breathes too hard, they would swear that they're using their supremacy, because they're so supreme, to take up the excess air from people of color. It is fucking ridiculous and it is tiresome. It generates fatigue. People don't want to deal with this anymore. People are over it. You're not going to be able to do this anymore where you can shame people into submission by accusing them of something, any kind of ist or ism that you want to put in front of their name to make it seem like they're a bad person. I don't even know why people even care anymore. It's so ridiculous. But Mr. Sotomayor is correct. Why are you automatically associating somebody black with an ape? That's an internal thing. You feel like you look like an ape. You feel like a monkey. Nobody can force you to think anything. That's up to you. There's no reason why you should be associating yourself. That's just like if somebody walks in a room and said, oh man, I hate all these people on welfare. If the shoe doesn't fit, why are you forcing it on? If you're not on welfare and you're not one of the people, then why would you care? Oh, they must be talking about me. That's like me being in a restaurant that's crowded and somebody walks in and says, oh man, I hate all these gay people. And I get totally offended. I'm not gay. Why would that matter to me? You don't have to own everything. But the problem is these people are raised to be insecure, and their parents, their family, their community convinces them to have an inferiority complex against anyone white. They see Trump as supreme. They see anybody white that's a male as supreme. That's why they call them supremacists, because they feel beneath them. It's an internal thing. Nobody told them that they're beneath. We all have equal rights. We can all do the same things in this country. There's nothing white people can do that black people cannot do. Okay, it's not there. It's all made up, and it's all a mental condition inside certain people. This man is standing next to Harvey. He's been working for TMZ. He's been very successful, all this money, and he's still bringing up slave. You were never a slave. You're not even a descendant of a slave. Most of these people never descended from slaves. They're just adopting this ideology because it gives them a little bit of victimhood. You know, one thing about people who are mentally handicapped is they love their crutches. Somebody like Sotomayor or myself, when we remove your crutches and you have to stand up on your own, people reject it and they get upset. But there's nothing that should be, if the shoe doesn't fit, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. If this has nothing to do with you, if you don't think you feel like you're like an ape, then why would you care? It makes no sense at all. There's nothing offensive about an animal video using all different types of politicians. Again, Hakeem Jeffries, they didn't put him as a black piece of monkey shit and they have him singing. He was a meerkat. He was an animal. They didn't say, oh yeah, it's a piece of shit. No, they didn't even do that. He's a meerkat. Why would you be associating yourself with this? And it showed Trump as the king of the jungle. It's literally them talking about how different politicians. It showed Doug Christie as an elephant. What do you mean and then I don't understand why cry so much. What purpose does that solve? You're always in despair. You're always sad. You're always offended. You're always angry. You live in a constant state of agony. You're never happy. I don't understand why people choose to subjugate themselves to something that is essentially toxic. Why not leave? Move away from it. Why would you choose to stay somewhere where you're unhappy? It just doesn't make any sense. It's like people like the punishment, or they're lying and it's not punishment at all. But it's one or the other.
No, yes, sir.
Okay. And you know that was a common thing to equate black people to apes or monkeys. And
how would you know that was a common thing? You weren't even alive 150, 200 years ago. You don't know. There's no records showing that, yeah, we associate. Those people are dead. There's no TVs. There's no movies from back then. All you're hearing is 15th and 16th hand accounts of the past. You have no clue what you're talking about. No, I don't automatically associate that with black people. It doesn't make any sense to do so. Oh, I'm Cuban. We eat bananas. You don't say that. You don't see us falling all out of the place when we see monkeys on TV. Why would we care? It doesn't make any sense. What about the rest of us? What about people from India? People in other countries that are darker than you, people from Sri Lanka. We eat those plants. We damn near live in jungles. We're not offended. So that's why I'm saying it's all a grift to see if they can pretend to be so offended that someone gives them money. Everything's a damn scam nowadays. Everything.
Usually it was a reference to they came from Africa, so they must be apes and monkeys. Are you aware of that?
No, you're making that up. You're making that correlation. You're coming up with that. That is your narrative. If that's what black people think about themselves, that has nothing to do with Trump or the rest of the country. That's an internal inferiority complex. That's you being insecure about your appearance. That's why everything offends you. If you hate yourself, you're going to see anything as something that is attacking you, even when it's not there. It doesn't make sense unless you close your eyes and you fall into this fantasy land and you just pretend that you're constantly a victim. How are you a man when everything is hurting you and everyone's oppressing you? It doesn't get any gayer than being that fucking weak and shallow, that fragile. Do you know how mentally fragile you must be as an adult where you're crying because somebody posts a video that you don't like? Grow the hell up. These are the weakest, most fragile people ever made in history.
Yeah, well, the idea of they came from Africa, there's a lot of animals that came from Africa. As a matter of fact, all of the ones that were depicted in the video, you got to show the whole video. Biden was also a monkey. Well, Biden was a monkey in the video too, so why are we outraged? As black people, we have carte blanche to call anybody anything we want.
That's exactly true. Black people can say whatever they want about anybody of any race. That's why, when someone told me blacks are the Jews, that's the only other group that can do what blacks do are Jewish people. and then literally claim victimhood. I'm seeing a correlation. Hey, oh, that 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marine. What's up, bro? Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Literally not the definition of supremacy. Yes, it is. You're calling someone supreme. That's in the word supremacy. That's literally what you're calling somebody, a white supremacist. You think that they're above you. I've never called someone that before. I've never looked at any particular person of any other race as being supreme. It takes a mental handicap, a form of mental illness, to see yourself as less than another man or another human. That's a form of mental illness. And that's something that really people can't shake. It's just a part of them. And there's really no way to break them out of it. There's no way to talk them out of it. You know, they're indoctrinated from very young to believe such things. That's why everyone else doesn't share their delusion. And they're kind of just alone when it comes to that. And that's been used against them in many years. And that's why we're seeing the results we're seeing now. That's exactly what that means.
And I'm from the South. Well, who can we talk?
Yeah, and then also there is no such thing as hate speech. What is hate speech? The First Amendment was not created to protect speech that people want to hear, because that speech doesn't need protecting because everyone likes it. That protection is for speech that people find abhorrent, speech that people find despicable and disgusting. That's the speech that needs to be protected, not the nice, friendly stuff that everybody likes. So there is no such thing as hate speech. You might hate to hear it, but that's your own personal issue. It's not, it's because what you consider hate speech, somebody else might consider accurate or uplifting. No one has to walk on eggshells to make you feel better about yourself. Your insecurities and your personal issues are yours alone, and they're in your head. You have to reconcile those. The rest of us are not going to change how we speak and how we live to suit you. You're going to have to grow up or grow some thicker skin, but we're not changing. We're talking more, not less.
Y'all have people on your show that call white people aliens, that call white people devils. No one gets in trouble on national television for calling a white man the devil.
I mean,
they call everybody who's white, if you're not gay, they call you a fascist. If you're not gay and you're white, they call you a Nazi. If you're not gay and white, they call you a supremacist. They literally stormed a church full of white people and were berating them about ICE in Minnesota. Don Lemon is going to jail for that. They all are. They all are. You can't do that. But they felt like they could do it because the people are white. When you're raised to think that white people are so far above you and all your problems come from them, and you're 2 or 3 generations into this indoctrination, then you're going to see yourself as constantly fighting an enemy that's not there. Those people are not your enemies. These illegals that are moving into your neighborhoods and their gangs are killing your kids who are in gangs, those are your enemies. Not these white people that you've never met, but your jealousy and envy of white people and their family structure causes you to see them as a problem, because you're constantly comparing yourself to them. That's why every time you meet somebody black, the first thing out of their mouth is, oh, but a white person this. Where did that come from? Trump shares this video. A lot of people share the video. They act like Trump is an artist and he went in and made it. Trump probably just reposted it. He can repost whatever he wants. It was funny. That is not, and if you're offended, grow up. Who cares if you're offended? That doesn't move any needles. It's like you're trying to pump yourself up to do something you have no business doing. You're hyping yourself up for no reason. Whatever you're going to do is going to hit a brick wall and it won't work. You're better off growing thick skin and seeing things where they are. Get yourself out of being so concerned about your appearance. Focus on your character, and none of this stuff is going to matter to you. That's how you free yourself. You have to free your mind. Imagine you're so uptight because somebody posted a video. Do you know how ridiculous you sound? This is crazy.
Devil is not a bad person. Devil doesn't equate to race. It equates to character.
No, we actually, if the person beside you will tell you the truth, we actually believe that the white people are devil, and many believe that we're aliens. We believe that.
I'll give you no.
Absolutely true. They literally say that white people are not humans, that they don't come from this planet because the sun makes them sick, and they are being exterminated genetically, which is why they want to stop abortion, because they're becoming extinct. Even whether some of that stuff is true or not, what's the point of even bringing it up and throwing it out there? And it's literally just to make yourself not feel as small. But why do you feel small? No one white ever walked up to you and told you that you're less than or anything. No, but this is coming from your family, your parents, your grandparents. This is taught to this particular culture and only in this culture. None of us immigrants, whether we're darker, I'm way darker than this guy that's on here next to Harvey. Why do I have these same insecurities? Why am I not sitting here as a victim? And he's way closer to being white than me. It's because it doesn't exist. And I didn't have a family that reinforced that inferiority complex into my mind. And when you address it and you talk about it, people get uncomfortable. But again, I'm not necessarily here to win a popularity contest. I'm just here to go over just some of my opinions and what's actually happening. I'm not expecting everyone to like what I'm saying. It's just accurate, whether you like it or not.
Hold on, I can give an example. Argument, Tommy. Don't put me in your. I'm not trying to. I'm not showing.
You asked me though, but you asked me if I knew the historical context. Right. So what I give
we're talking. You're trying to talk about calling white people devils. No one's saying that that's okay, but that is a different thing than what we're.
But you wouldn't have an entire segment if somebody made a video, an AI video showing different white people on different types of devils. You wouldn't care. White people wouldn't care, but you would definitely not have a segment on TMZ about it and about how white people are offended, because they're not allowed to be offended. Because what do black people tell them? Oh, yeah, you guys shouldn't be offended because of create XYZ reason. Black people can't offend anybody. Black people can't be racist. Black people can be anything they want to be and everything they want to be. That's including offensive and racist too. It's not a one-way streak. Like this whole argument has been around for years and it's ridiculous. Literally makes no sense.
Talking about.
What I'm trying to say is, as a black person, I refuse to believe that every time I see a depiction of a monkey and a white person doing it, I'm supposed to be outraged and automatically just upset. So I'm just agreeing that this is the depiction of me and my people.
It's so ride or die with certain people in Trump's camp that can't you bend the knee on one issue and still be a Trump supporter? Isn't this just one too far?
Oh, no.
Why the hell would we bend the knee on my opinion of what I consider comedy? It's funny. It's funny. No, the only people that are associating blacks with apes are blacks. Nobody else is looking at that video and thinking, oh, yeah, they look like that. Doesn't make any sense. And this is not a black and white world. There's like way more of us out here that live in this country, for example. We're not offended by it because it doesn't apply to us and it doesn't apply to them. Stop letting them lie to you. Every day it's a new grift on trying to figure out how they can scam white people out of money by using sympathy. I'm just glad a lot of that's being shut down, especially now that DEI is a thing of the past.
Listen, I am one, if you watch my show, I criticize him as well. I think the people who support someone the most should be the ones that are most critical of them.
And even though I support Trump and I wear a MAGA hat in my videos, I literally criticize him on things that he said, a few things that he's done. But overall, I've gotten way more than I thought I would for my vote. He's going leaps and bounds beyond what I wanted, giving us way more. So, but nobody's perfect. And I don't agree with anybody 100% of the time. So I think that would be ridiculous. But for the most part, I'm proud of what he's doing. And I want him to keep going. But it's like they keep bringing up all these ways of emotional manipulation. That's all this is. And it's not working. So they're freaking out. They're losing all of their ways to control us. They're losing it. You can't control us emotionally no more with fake outrage, because there's no way you guys can do this much killing on a daily basis that you cover up for culturally. There's no way you can be that violent, that evil, but then cry about a video. There's no way. We see the inconsistency and we're saying we're done with it. We're done with it. You guys are too violent and too wild to be so easily offended. If you were this fragile, why don't you apply it when you guys are going out to hunt each other down every night? But you don't, because it's not real. It's not accurate. This is all just made up fake outrage. There's no way you can go from one extreme like that to the other. There's no way at all. Literally, they cover up for the most evil, heinous crimes amongst one another, but want to cry about a video because Trump, no matter what Trump posts, they're going to cry. So that's why a lot of this has to be just ignored and shelved. You just can't care. This right here is just making us more and more numb to any criticism that they come up with.
He have posted this as a president? I think 100% not. There's a lot of things that he does as a president that are unprecedented.
We saw Tim Scott be able to say this is wrong, and I'm not sure why you can't say this was wrong.
Well, first off, again, I would use the word racist versus wrong. They're two different things. When I hear the word of racist, I'm supposed to just be a afraid Klan member. And you have to understand, I've been black my whole life. And unlike you,
hey,
I've been
that makes two of us.
Yeah. What does it mean to be black? You're just an American. Your experience is no different than everybody. We all have to work. We all have to figure out what we're going to do with ourselves. We all have to try our best to make the best decisions per day. Nobody's getting it any easier than other people. Sure, some people might have better parents and they'll give you a better head start. But just be grateful that you had parents to begin with and now you're here. You have the opportunity to do anything you choose to do per day. So what does it matter that you're black? You still live in the same world that the rest of us live in right here in this country. There's no reason everybody else should be above you. There's something particularly wrong with your group. It's not everyone else. It's likely just you. And a lot of people have snapped out of it, but there are too many more that are still just choosing to stay at the bottom. But you can't ever, but that's not no one else's fault, especially not white people. And that's all they can do is blame all their problems on someone else because the word accountability is toxic and considered racist in their culture.
But unlike
so now we're going to do colorism?
I'm going to say, but
now we're going to do colorism?
Okay. But unlike you, wait a minute. But unlike you, I've been dark-skinned my whole life.
Okay.
And you know what I've been told? You know what I've been told by black folks? That same monkey, crispy, blackie, midnight, smokes, and all these words are supposedly okay that black people use against their own people. When you're trying to insult someone, you go towards things that they don't like. I don't agree with the fact that we can say, well, we can diss these people and that diss is okay. But that diss is a diss too far. Because when we diss this man, and we call him an orange orangutan, but that's okay for us to call him that because he's supposed to be accepted.
Who's going to get on here and say that that's not true? Who's going to say we haven't heard people call him an orange monkey, an orange orangutan, an orange idiot, just calling him another color altogether because CNN used to exaggerate pictures and videos of him the same way they made Joe Rogan look like he was green when he was treating himself with ivermectin, which is now they're discovering was one of the only two real treatments for whatever sickness that was going around, which was likely electromagnetic radiation exposure sickness. That's why you lost the taste, your sense of taste. And it was temporary, but it did treat it. Those ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine. And when Joe Rogan took it, they tinted his picture so he looked green. And they do the same thing with Trump, so people thought he was orange. And then people famously come here from other countries and they made him in person. They're like, he's not orange at all. It's deceptive. So that's why I said certain networks, turn them off, stop listening to them. Come over here to the internet. Let us talk to you. We'll do a better job and we'll give you a better perspective, if you will.
I think insults either need to stop or be accepted all the way around. There's no way for me to tell you, you should have a governor on what you say to me, but I don't have a governor on what I say to you.
Fair, but he is kind of orange.
And he can say it. And he can say it.
Why can he say it? Harvey is gay. Harvey's not just gay, he's Jewish. Trump's white. Completely different phylum of humans. Completely different. Historically, they've never got along. Only in the last, 20 years have Italians, Irish, Scottish, Jews, have they all been considered white. That's like a recent thing. They've only been white since like the early 2000s. They were not white before then. So no, he cannot say that. But see, from a black person's perspective, oh man, he can say that. No, you're wrong. You don't understand how this works.
Well, I generally don't ask questions this way, but I just have to because
the point is you got certain people, certain gay people, they want black people to be mad because they want you to go out and do their dirty work for them. They want you to get in the streets, attack police, attack straight white people because they're too chicken shit to do it. So they manipulate you to go do their dirty work. They're losing their control. Less and less people are falling for it. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. That video is great. I shared it a bunch of times on all my platforms and I will continue to share it because you need to develop like I said, a tolerance for other people's. You can't just dish it out and not be able to take it in. That doesn't make any sense. So, and yeah, I am very proud of it. And the thing is this: you guys keep using that word racist like it means something. What does that even mean in 2026? Racist used to historically mean restricted. So because of your race, you couldn't do certain things, you couldn't go certain places. There is no more racism because there's nothing anybody's restricted from doing based on their race. So that word doesn't mean anything anymore at all. At all. Nobody's being restricted because of race. There's no policies that reinforce that. So you're lying about it. And because I won't go along with your lie, now I'm the problem. Yeah, whatever. You guys can listen. You guys can play that game with other people. It's just not going to fly here because with me, you're going to have to talk about it and you're going to have to explain yourself. And you can't. Ad hominem attacks or, insults or bullshit. It doesn't hold any weight, doesn't hold any water. There is no racism. Nobody's being restricted from anything because of your race. And we're Americans. I don't have to like anybody. I can dislike whoever I want based on race if I want to. I can't restrict them from doing something based on their race, but I don't have to deal with them if I don't want to. I don't have to talk to them. I can go my own separate way. So, and as an American, that's my right to not talk to or deal with somebody that I don't want to. I don't have to. I don't have to like any fucking body. I can dislike whoever I want. No one has to like you or your people. That's ridiculous. Yeah, you can, whatever names you want to call, go for it. It doesn't affect me. I don't care. It affects you because you're weak and you're fragile. People like me, it just doesn't work on. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't move anything. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with another topic in 20 minutes. Remember, America first and America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.